Okay, great. Elif, could you play from the beginning of Stamitz Concerto, first movement? For now. Great, so I really love the overall sound, and your sound is really maturing, which is great. And the characters are very nice, they're coming across well. There's some technical things that I would like to talk about. Even from the beginning, to get out the sounds of the chords, we need to have a little bit more of an upright stance, okay? The sounding point is moving. When you take the viola down, the sounding point also moves, okay? It goes towards the fingerboard, okay? So could we just try just the opening so we can break this down? Keeping a little bit more upright, we're thinking, yes, north, south, east, west, nice and open. Great, yeah, that already looks a lot better, yeah. Very nice. Can we just try the opening maybe till here? Yeah, that's already better. Okay, you're able to shape much more. Whenever you want to lead into a downbeat, that's when I feel your viola goes down. And that's exactly the time that we actually need to be more upright. Okay, so could we try one more time and see if you can resist the feeling of wanting to go down in order to lead into the next measure. Let's try that. Nice. really, really beautiful. You're able to then shape more with the bow as well, because now you have a wider palette ability to get from the bridge to the fingerboard instead of just being closer to the fingerboard. Okay? That's great. Now, musically, for the opening, what are you thinking? Are you thinking that the beginning starts at what dynamic, and are we slowly increasing in terms of the dynamic levels?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm thinking first I should start piano, not piano like mezzo piano, and then the other chord I should be mezzo forte, and then forte.
Okay, great. So sort of like levels, stair stepping up. Great, excellent. That's great. And the most important thing is, what is our character from the beginning? What are you imagining? Is there a scene that comes to mind?
Difficult question.
Yeah, it was.
Like
no right answer, so.
No, I know, but I'm thinking it's like opening. We are coming, and then it's like a ceremony, and then the king or queen coming, and then it's like the trumpet sound, like trumpet sound.
That's very good. I think similarly. That's very nice. So you're sort of royalty coming in, processing in. Okay, so and maybe they're coming from a distance because it gets louder and louder as you come in. I really like that. Great. So can we try the opening? And let's go on this time. But we're thinking about that upright sense.
Okay. And
that really visualize that royalty coming in and how that affects the character of the opening. Okay? Let you get to the top. Okay, excellent. So, with all of these 16ths, and this is something that happens later on in the concerto too, that we have all of these 16ths with different groupings and patterns, right? Okay, so what are you thinking in terms of the shaping?
First, I think I start piano. And then I'm taking the first notes because it's chord, and then it's like passing, and then one chord is coming too, and then we are coming F sharp, and then just D major comes, and it's going to here. I just start piano, and then I'm going to G, and I'm planning to go to G.
Right.
With beautiful crescendo.
Right. Yes. I think that's great. I think that we can bring this out a little bit more. This idea. So it's sort of in 2-bar groupings. Would you agree? Yes. Until the last one is a 1-bar. So we have sort of this pedal of D. And then we transition into here, right, into the 3rd bar, and then we have a pedal, a sustained idea, and then we transition of that last beat into the F sharp. So can we just start from right there? And so we're thinking about those groupings and how then they affect the overall phrasing. I love that you're punching out the Ds, but it's also important to dig out the other notes on the C string, not just the Ds. Can we try that one more time? Good. That's exactly the idea. Okay. Good. Yeah, I probably messed up on that top. So whenever you go all the way into the top D, you have to just aim for it. Okay. No apologizing. If it doesn't work, you go on. Okay. Yeah. No problems there. Great. So that's definitely the idea with the grouping, because on the viola, on the cello, on the bass, we need to dig out the lower strings, okay? So that's very nice. Great. So, can we just start from here so you get a running jump? And as you go up, make sure that the viola stays up with you, okay? And then you can take just a tiny bit of time for that to really melt into the G. No rush there. So the viola is down, okay? And that's going to be counterproductive because you need to get around for your high shifting, okay? And your body's going to be in the way. So if you're up, if you're able to be open, then you can come around more easily. Can we start at the same place with that idea? Good, that's nice. Now, I mean, you were really methodically thinking about it. Try the same thing and just go for it. Good, keep going. Change it. Super smooth with the bow. That's very nice. So I love that the ends of phrases you're always decaying. That's very good. We definitely want that, certainly for Stamitz. So we have many different bowings. There are many options for this concerto. There are hundreds of different ways. Now, whenever we change a bowing from the original, we always want to keep in mind what the original was. Okay? So if we're changing separates from the slurs, we want to make sure that it's not too short, okay, because we have this overall, in this case for Stamitz, his markings are absolutely bow markings, not phrase markings, right? So we just have to think about that, okay? So that's something that you will, as you're practicing, you can keep that in mind, okay? For right now, can we go on to the next section, this little noodly part? Great, I'm starting on. That's the idea. As you bring this around, I mean, it's just automatically that the sound starts to open. So, can we have the same idea as we did in the previous passage, which was to dig out the lower notes on our C string? Great, excellent. So this last measure of that is a transition into our new character, right? So can we make that transition more seamless, okay? Because we come into more pastoral idea, right? So can we make that transition just a couple bars back? within this phrase. So we have that transition and the very legato, beautiful cantabile, right? And then it switches into more articulate, right? Okay, so that's very nice. Always keep in mind the automatic changes that need to happen. Great, let's go on for now. So I really liked the balance of the C and G strings on this one. So for the A, can we just make sure that the A string pitches match the droning E? That's great. So the things that I want you to think about as you're practicing are, first of all, the more upright feeling. Okay? So when you have the feeling to want to go down because you're wanting to phrase into a particular note or measure, resist that urge and actually bring the instrument up. Okay? Think of the counter motion. Okay, because we have gravity, don't give it to gravity. We have our opposite. So good, that's one thing. And also the very quick changing characters. Okay, so I definitely, I like your ideas. I can sense them, but they need to be very quickly changed. Okay, so right at the beginnings of where those start. And that the transition sometimes helps you get to those, okay, the transition bars. Good. And the intonation, for the most part, is very good. Okay. This can be a hard concerto, especially, on viola, for the intonation. I advise playing with lots of open strings. Okay. So passages that, don't have double stops written, use the open strings for tuning, okay? Tune both to the lower strings and to the upper strings. That would really help your intonation, okay? Great. And do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, great. Sounds very nice. Thank you so much for playing. Appreciate it. Thank you.